is finally here. Hi guys, how's it going? We're checking out the Samsung Galaxy Fold, the world's almost first commercially available foldable device. We're going to do a quick unboxing of the device and then we're going to take a first look at it. So yeah, let's jump in, let's check it out. Okay, box, within a box. But yeah, I guess premium device deserves two boxes. Okay, so first and foremost, that's the device itself. We'll come back to that in a second. Now, one of the first things you're going to notice when you open the box is this little package. Now, this is currently in French. It'll obviously be in English and Arabic for the retail units that a person picks up in the UAE. But this basically talks about Samsung Care Plus. You get a year's worth of Samsung Care Plus free with these devices, which comes with a 24-hour hotline for the devices itself, because they understand that users might not exactly know how a certain function works, or they might have an issue with it. So yeah, it's 1 year free, and they've got a pick up and drop service in case anything happens, in case you break the screen, it's got accidental damage. So do give that a read if you do end up picking up one of these devices. This is another one. Again, this will be in English and Arabic, but this basically talks about general care of a device like this, since this is the first time someone might hold a foldable device. Now, second one, some documentation. I'm not going to really jump into the documentation, but the main thing that you got to see is that they provide a case inside the box itself. I forget what this not metal, but this plastic was called, but it's got a carbon fiber finish, and it seems like it would hold the device well. We'll have a shot with that later on. Inside the box, you don't get regular wired headphones, you get Galaxy Buds. They're small wireless buds, which I will talk about further later, but one cool thing is that one of the reasons that they give these to you is because you can charge these directly with the phone. Last but not least, you get charger and some cables. Okay, so here's the device. Let's get that out. Now this is the silver one right now, okay? Again, in front, and as you can see, Samsung has taken care of this. We all know that this device had issues in its first round, and this is the device that they have relooked at and made some changes to. We'll discuss the changes as well in this video, but there's a lot of care discussions over here, not to be too hard on the surface, not to use keys and cards. It's not water and dust resistant, and there's a layer inside there which I'll show you, which not to peel off. But until then, let's open this up. All right, so there you go. That's the foldable device. All right, so before we talk about what life would be with a foldable device, I'd like to jump into a few specifications so that we can move on. First things first, we've got the Snapdragon 855 on this. We've got 12 gigs of RAM, 512 GB storage, and we've got a 4,380 milliamp battery, but the battery is a dual one, so there's one part on one side and the other part on the other side. You've got USB Type-C fast charging, no headphone jack, stereo speakers tuned by AMG. You've got 6 cameras on this thing. You've got one on the outside right there. You've got 3 up here, 2 up here, and you've got 3 at the back. Okay. So then first things first, the front screen. Now this is a 4.6-inch display. It's easy to use in the sense that this is a long format to have in your hand, but because it's relatively smaller and because of the way you hold the phone, it's not exactly difficult, but this is a very small screen compared to what we're used to. A few years ago, a 4-inch screen wasn't that bad, but like, at least for me right now at this minute, if I'm looking at these apps or I'm looking at the text over here, it's quite minute. That being said, once you open it up, you've got all this real estate, right? And there's a lot you can do with it. Now, the number one thing you can do is that because you've got the 855 processor, because you've got 12 gigs of RAM, you can multitask. Let me show you. Suppose I was watching, let's just say, a video, all right? Suppose I was watching this video, sorry. So this video is on right now, okay? So this is going on. Now, let's assume at the same time as this video is going on, I want to check out, let's just say, the Gulf News website. So you can do that as well. In this scenario, you want a third application. Suppose you want to check your calendar because you remembered something. You can switch around. But more importantly, while this is on, you can even have a third one as a pop-up window, right? So basically all this can happen simultaneously without interfering with one another. This creates, well, a lot of opportunities to be productive while you're on the move on what traditionally is still a smartphone. Now, if we take a quick look at, let's just say, typing. Now, one of the biggest ways we're going to be interacting with this device. If we jump right into messages over here, you'll notice that the keyboard is already split in half. And initially when I looked at this, I thought, okay, this is going to be difficult. This is going to be something to get used to. But actually it's pretty intuitive. I mean, the second you're using it, like I'm typing right now, and I don't seem to have an issue because the split is enough that to where your thumbs would reach. Similarly, on the front one, if you were to type over here as well, it's a smaller keyboard, but you would easily get used to it because you'd either swipe or you have one-hand usage. Now, there are certain apps that are obviously not yet optimized, but most of everything that's available here on the device right now, like at the time that I have loaded this with no account whatsoever, preloaded, we've got all the basic apps. You've got your gallery, you've got the Google apps, you've got Netflix, Spotify, Facebook. All these are optimized for the device itself. Now, in case you were following the Samsung Galaxy Fold story, you know for a fact that this is not the first but the second iteration of the same device. Now, some of the improvements that have been made to this device, one is that the folding mechanism itself is a bit, let's just say, has a bit more strength to it. Secondly, you will notice, again, most of y'all haven't seen the first device, but there are these new hinges over here which cover what originally used to actually be a gap which affected the working of the device itself. One of the other changes is that originally there's a protective layer on top of this display which actually used to stick out like your screen protector looks right now on your device. But what Samsung has done is, so that people don't peel it off or remove it in any sort of way, they've put it and tucked it inside the body itself, which obviously helps with everything else. But on the overall, since I have seen the first version of the device, I can tell you that it does seem a little, it does seem like it's thought out a little more. It does seem like it will handle a little more pressure, or rather a little more pressure from daily usage, but it doesn't hurt to be a little careful with a first generation folding phone. How usability is going to be, what it's going to be like living with a foldable phone is something that I'll let you know in the near future. But for now, all you have to know is that the device is available for 7,199 dirhams and is currently on pre-order with 1 year's Samsung Care Plus free. If you do have questions, don't forget to leave some in the comments below and we'll try to answer them. But until then, thank you very much for watching.